Hi guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Faith and welcome to the channel where RNs and future USRNs come to get inspired. So today I'm going to talk about some of those pivotal moments that I thought it is over, I'm done, and I almost gave up. So let's get right into it. So guys, I received two sad messages from some of my followers, and they were just like, one of them talked to me in person and another one just texted me on, I think it was Instagram, and they told me, Faith, I've just given up and I don't think this is for me, when they really were among the very first people who started following me, and the very first people who really encouraged me to continue posting on this YouTube channel. So I thought that was very sad, and I decided to talk about my journey. And as much as those are just a few who have given up, I've also gotten a lot of positive messages from people that I even don't know. They are not even in Kenya, and they've gotten agencies just by following my advice. And yeah, they've even set up their CGFNS account on their own just by following my advice, and I'm grateful for that. But these two that just gave up totally when I knew they wanted it so much, they made me to feel a little bit sad. So I just want to talk to you guys about my story. So guys, some of the very pivotal moments that I thought the world is over, and I thought that this dream was just a dream, it will never be a reality, is, I know I haven't gotten to the end of the road yet, but I'm almost there. So, but these are the moments that I thought this is it. And I will start by the time I went to South Africa for my NCLEX, and I finished my NCLEX, and the moment the computer shut down, I was like, God, why did this computer has to stop at 75? Am I this stupid? Have I just failed? I even told myself it could have just gone up to the maximum questions that they ask, so that I know I did my best. I fought my battle to the last end, but it stopped at 75. And I tell you guys, when you guys ask me if NCLEX is easy, or if NCLEX is easier than UWorld, because I used UWorld, I'll tell you NCLEX is very unique, it's very weird. You will read those questions and smile and say, yeah, I know what to answer. But then you look at the answers, and there are just some two answers that are very similar and very confusing, and you'll wonder now which one is the right answer. And every time I got that dilemma, at least almost every question that I tackled, I was remaining with the two answers that were really similar, and I was like, God, just show me the right answer, because at this point I don't know. I know much about nursing, I know everything, I know at least I've studied the NCLEX for so long, and this can't just be happening. And every question I always told God, please pick the answer for me. I've eliminated these two, I'm remaining with these two. Please pick the right answer for me. And when I left the exam room, I went outside because it is in the mall, and I didn't know where to go. I lost direction, and I cycled around the mall for like 30 minutes. Is when I called my driver and I was like, just come pick me, I don't know where I am. And I went to the hotel, and it is funny that when I called my husband, because he's not a medic, and I told him, I think I've failed, I'm so sure. And he told me, no, just go do the rest of the papers and it will, it will, like, the marks will add up and you'll pass. And I was like, no, it's just one paper and I feel like I've failed. I don't know what to say. And he was just like, no, just go to sleep and come home tomorrow and it will be fine. And I didn't want to do the whatever that trick that people do to know their results, because I didn't want to collapse in South Africa. I already felt like I was going to die, and I didn't want to, like, to, I don't know. I was like, I'm in this foreign land. I know nobody. The only family that knows that I'm here is our aunt and my family. And I was like, no, I don't want to collapse here. Who will save me? And I went to the hotel and I cried almost the whole night. Mark you, I had been crying with panic the previous night before the NCLEX, and now I was just feeling sorry for myself. And I knew I had totally failed. And the next day, I woke up and went to take my breakfast. I couldn't eat anything. Came back and showered, and just called my driver and told him, I'm going to sleep and just wake me up when you're about to come here. And that's when I got a little bit of sleep and actually had nightmares about the exam. But then I was able to rest a little bit, and I went to the airport later and I met this lady, and I've tried to connect with her, but I've never gotten to talk. Like, she never responds to me. And she told me, I saw you at the exam center. You came when I was getting out, and I feel like I have totally failed. And she was she was just, I think she was feeling worse than me, because like it had hit her so bad, even more than me, because I was a little bit calm. And she was so nervous, and we got on a plane back home together and we separated in Nairobi. But she has never been able to talk to me and tell me what she got, but I think she passed. So when I came home and I was totally sure that I failed, I was planning to renew my UL subscription. I was going through Sounders again, and I was just telling myself, this is it. I have to redo the NCLEX. Because when I started this journey, I told myself, it won't be me that will deter myself from getting to where I want. So the next day, I didn't do the trick. It was like several holidays. Was it Easter holiday or what? It was just several holidays, a weekend and a holiday on Monday that was in between. So Avant couldn't get back to me, because my agency also monitors everything. So I was just seated, I couldn't do anything the whole day. Eating was even a problem. And my friend, she is in the US, and she just went on Texas Board of Nursing portal and searched for my name. And she sent me my license and my name. I was like, you're kidding me, that's not me. And she told me, you passed. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. And that is it, guys. I almost gave up at that point. But then something else happened, and I learned that it will not be easy, and things will work out. Nothing good comes easy. And that's how I found out that I passed my NCLEX, and I renewed my strength of soldiering on with this journey. Another pivotal moment that I almost gave up. This was before the NCLEX. This is when I had just started. Mark you, I just didn't think of relocating to the US yesterday. I always thought of this earlier, not even before I joined nursing school. I always knew that I want to live in another country and experience something different, and also be able to help my family. So when I was starting, and yes, I had started on my research that is being guided by one of my friend that had just was almost leaving the country, and I decided maybe I can apply for an agency. And the very first agency that I applied with rejected me, the very first agency that she used. And they told me they have a lot of people in line, so they can't, that's the mail they sent me, so they can't take me. I was so frustrated. I always thought that once these agencies are advertising themselves, you can just apply and get it. And I was frustrated. And I told myself maybe the next agencies that I'll apply with will not take me. So I almost gave up. I didn't understand why me? Yeah, some people just applied once and they were already taken. Why me? And something that really made me like cry is we were doing interviews with that agency with another friend of mine at the same time, and she was taken and I was not. And that made me question a lot of things, and I was like, now I don't know anyone apart from this friend that is relocating. I don't know anyone in the US. I can't go there as a visitor. I can't go there as, I didn't even know there are also scholarships that you can apply, or you can apply for study there. So I was like, will this ever happen for me? But then I realized that you can start this on your own if you have the money. And I decided to do it. And by the time I was applying to the next agency, actually I told myself not to give up, and I will start to show an agency that I have interest in what I want. I'm just not applying for the sake of it. I'm not just applying because I saw them on the internet, or I had someone has relocated with them. So I decided to apply, to do this on my own, to start things personally. And later, after I had done my CGFNS and I had also set up an account with my board of nursing, and I was almost just paying for the NCLEX. I was looking for money to pay for my NCLEX, and at that time I saw that I was a little bit strained financially, and I decided to apply to the current agency that I'm with. And yeah, they took time to come back to me, but they took me, and that restored my energy to continue. So I'm not saying that at that you cannot be on your own, because I have a friend who has done stuff on her own until she passed her NCLEX and she signed up with an agency, because later things are a little bit complicated when you don't have someone to petition for you from the US. That's why the agencies are also important. So if you have the cash, you can start. Just start on your own. Although if you have an agency, it will be easier for you because they guide you through a lot of things and you just have to follow what they are saying. But I almost gave up when an agency rejected me, and I thank God that I'm still here. And with the agency of my dream, because that wasn't the agency that I thought of. Immediately I wanted to start the journey, but someone convinced me otherwise. From this agency that I'm using, they told me that will really drag you, it will take long. But I don't feel like I've taken, yes, I feel like I've taken long, but I think that it is necessary, and they explain things to you and make sure you really understand what is going on. And that is what I appreciate. And yeah, now I'm with a dream agency, and now I can tell you for sure that delay is not denial, is not being denied. Your blessings are there. God brought them for you. So just hold on. The third pivotal moment that I almost gave up is when the pandemic hit. And yeah, being a medic, you understand what a virus is, and a virus that can spread quickly. And I was like, really now? Because I had started this journey and I had now gotten the agency, and I was like, now things will move faster. But then the pandemic hit and our country retrograded and things started to shut down. It was hell. And even to send me some study materials from my agency, it really took time to come because some of the couriers were not really, the things were not as fast as it was. So that really took a toll on me. And I know it's not only me, it's a lot of people. But I was asking myself, is this really another hurdle in the road? Because when I started this, I never thought that 2022 will still get me in my country. I always thought that by this time I'll be out there, settled in, and now getting used to the environment. And I also have other plans apart from just going to the US and all that. There are so many other things that I've just put on hold just because I'm in this process. So I was really discouraged, but we pulled through the pandemic. And I also thank my agency for this because they understood that everyone is hit by this pandemic, and they always kept encouraging us, talking to us, and just making sure we are okay, and giving us all the emotional and psychological support that they can. They understood if you can't finish your assignment on time because they knew the health sector was really flooded and things were a little bit tough on the healthcare workers. So they understood even if you don't finish your assignment on time, they could extend your assignment in like 2-3 days. And they were very supportive, and I thank God for that. The fourth pivotal moment that I almost gave up is when my exams kept being pushed. When I joined my agency, I had already studied a lot about the NCLEX, and they predicted that I will do my exams in October. Was it 2020? Yeah, because I did my NCLEX. I did my NCLEX last year, 2021 Feb. So no, actually they were saying I'll do it in November. And then came November, I had gone through all the assignments that they wanted me to. And they booked my exam. I got my ATT. They booked my exam and it was pushed. It was pushed to, was it? It was pushed to around, I think it was November. And then came November, it was pushed again to December, no, to January. And then came January, it was pushed again to Feb. So that really kept frustrating me because I was booking these leaves, I was planning my schedule, and then just boom, we get an email from Pearsonville that because of the pandemic and all that, your exam is pushed. So that really frustrated me, but I pulled through. I waited, and although I was a little bit impatient, maybe God had a reason, and I did my exam and passed. So God knows why things happen the way they do. So don't ever give up, but put your trust in God, and He will be there to clear the road for you. The last pivotal moment that I almost gave up, I actually gave up for some years, is when I was discouraged by a colleague who even was not in any program of relocating to the US, or she wasn't even for it. And she told me, you want to try this? You be my guest. The exams are so tough. It is you won't manage with this kind of work that we are doing. You are not going to manage. And mark you, there was someone who was in the process at that time, and my colleague was like, see, she even went for the exam because that person had to do the NCLEX twice, and she told me, you see, she was just lied to. She went to do the exam and she has failed. Now she's just here with us. So whom do you think you are that you can do this? And I foolishly listened to her because that time I had no commitments whatsoever. I had all the time in the world to sit down for the NCLEX and all that. I could get an agency with no problem because there were so many, and like people are really using these agencies and going out, and I foolishly listened to her, and it took me, I think, two good years to revisit that. Is when I started this journey again. So within those 2 years, I could have been out of this country, but then I tell myself, God knows why, because everything is best in God's timing. That's what I believed in, and now we are here. The journey, we are getting to the peak of the journey, and I thank God, and I only trust God to take me through the last bit of this journey. So that is it, guys. I'm still here. I haven't given up. So if you have given up and you're thinking this is not for you, just look at me. Trust me, there are things I haven't talked to you. I can talk to you on camera that were happening in the background that made me question myself. But I'm still here. I don't know what you're going through, but just think of your life too. Is where you are you comfortable? Is it where you want to be? Are you thinking of I can do better if I wasn't here. Just change your mindset. It is the great thing that can happen to you. Change your mindset, be positive, and tell yourself you can do it. And start it. Start it, and just don't lose the fire. Go, go, go. And at some point, you'll thank yourself later. And you see, when you achieve a little bit of success in your journey, just a little bit, celebrate yourself. Let that be an encouragement that I can do this. I always tell people, thinking about it is the first step, because there are so many people who are nurses. They graduated and they are somewhere that they are surrounding. There are people who are not even, who are in places where there is no even internet. So these things, they just hear of it, or they even don't know that they exist, and they end up never to continuing with their studies. They never improve their self. They never build themselves, like study-wise, career-wise. But you have this privilege of being on YouTube and listening to people talk about their stories. Being on the internet, seeing people lives change by some opportunities. So don't waste this good time that we are living in right now. Just start. I'll tell you, just start. And once you start, there's no stopping. It's a marathon. Let it not be you that discourage yourself. So, yeah. So that is it, guys. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the 400, I think, and 70 something subscribers right now. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, I'm still waiting for you to subscribe. Go hit the subscribe button. Let's get 500 subscribers. I was saying before the end of March, but now we started April. I hope that April will be a better month in terms of subscriptions and all that. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for coming by every time that I post a video. For those OG fans that have been with me from the beginning, one day, one time, I will try to reward you, but I know that God is really rewarding you through this channel. So don't give up. That is my message for you today. Don't give up. Whatever you are thinking about, it may not be this process, but something else. Just don't give up. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time in the next video. But for now, bye.